Mrs. Hema to pay a tribute to the legend J.R.D. Tata. Ratan Tata. Sorry,
Ratan Tata. Yeah.
Thank you, Pushpa. Thank you so much, sir. I'm sure every one of us here knows about the legend. Nevertheless, it is my pleasurable duty today to talk about one of the greatest Indians of all times. And I think it is indeed a matter of pride that all of us are present in this century to see two legends in India, to have seen them work, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam and definitely Ratan Tata. There comes a time in the history of a nation, rare of course, when an entire population pays tribute wholesomely, not to a politician, not to a film star, but to a businessman. And the reason is his ethics, his values, his munificence, his generosity, and his belief that business can be done sans corruption and sans favoritism. Ratan Tata may be being born with a silver spoon, educated in Bombay, a complete Mumbaite or Bombay Wala. He went abroad for his higher education and had the choice in 1962, having completed his dual course of engineering and architecture, to return to India because his grandmother, who had brought him up with values and principles, was on her deathbed. So in 1962, Ratan, the jewel of India, returned to his homeland and was given a job in Tata's. He started as an ordinary person, as an assistant in the shop floor, but rose remarkably. He worked in Telco, he worked in Nelco, and later in 1991, and that was a great coincidence, a year, a milestone year in India's history. That was a year when India went liberalization, thanks to two people, Prime Minister B.V. Narasimha Rao and his Finance Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh. Coincidence, Tata took over from J.R.D., his mentor and uncle, as a chairman. There were many who felt, oh, here is an accidental chairperson, not a real one. The reason being, they felt he was a novice, did not have that experience, was naive and young. But definitely Ratan completely changed that. He decided, over a period of time, to remove all those top-heavy gentlemen. They were the satraps who were running the show. Ease them out using retirement policy. And in years to come, he emerged as a true successor of J.R.D. Here I would also like to deviate and explain how J.R.D. himself was a great force of inspiration. Many of us know and have heard about Kalpana Chawla. Unfortunately, she died in space in Columbus. When she went there, she took an photograph of J.R.D. because she felt he was her inspiration because he was a flyer and started Air India. So she was greatly inspired, and on her death, her family wrote to Ratan Tata, sending the photograph and showing it to Ratan Tata's family, how J.R.D. was an inspiration. So there comes a time when there are great forces of inspiration in our lives. Now moving back to Ratan Tata, after 1991, he decided he must have a car, an Indian car, and Indica was his dream. 1998, he began Indica, and he started it. But as always, a lot of teething trouble. So as there was enough teething trouble, he decided that he must do something about it. And that was a time when Bill Ford of Ford Detroit, United States, they were also talking about buying the car. So Ratan, along with his team, Tata, went all the way to Detroit. But unfortunately, here, Bill Ford, he acted very condescendingly. And with the way he spoke, that Tatas should not take up something that they cannot chew, was something that Ratan Tata could not digest. On his return, he decided to once again go through the process, and the second generation of Indica came out in 2008. And look at this sweet revenge. In 2008, Bill Ford faced a recession, and they were at that time owning two most prestigious cars, Jaguar and Land Rover, and both of them were purchased by Tatas. So that is something truly remarkable. Here was a man who did what many would not have done. Moving on, I would like to pay tribute to the man as he was, not just the car. Nano. How did he start Nano? 1 lakh he decided because he saw a family, an entire family of 4 on a scooter, met with an accident, and he said, I must start a car for the poor in India. Affordable it should be, 1 lakh. Maybe Nano was a failure, it doesn't matter. But then, we all know that failures are very important. They are the stepping stone of success. And here was a man who had concern for the ordinary person. That shows how Ratan Tata was. A simple man who never bragged about himself. He traveled very simply. And one of the stories that I would like to tell you here is what Nitin Gadkari said. Nitin Gadkari one day called him over for lunch or dinner, I am not sure. And Ratan Tata was on his way. But he could not find Nitin Gadkari's home. So he rang up Nitin Gadkari to get to know the way. And Gadkari immediately told him, रतन जी आप अपने ड्राइवर को दे दीजिए अपना ये फोन मैं बता दूंगा. To which Ratan Tata very smilingly or maybe very shyly said over the phone that Nitin, I am driving my own car. So that was a kind of man he was. And the other